Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I had quite a few people ask me if I would cover the John Jones situation over in the UFC, based upon the fact that I have quite a bit of knowledge of how to get by drug testing and how drug testing works in sports. And for people say, no one asked you that, no one asked you that, well, go read the comments and videos and go read my Facebook fan page, and you will see that at least a dozen different people have publicly asked me. So either I made a dozen different fake accounts to ask myself publicly, or a lot of people actually care and want me to answer it. You decide. Now, that being said, what's going on with John Jones? He's technically failed a drug test in the UFC over two different instances. He had two different things that caused him problems on the drug test. And so let's cover that. The number one thing, he tested positive for cocaine. People are asking, is he doing this as a recreational thing? Does it have anything to do with his sport? And what I will say is, yes, a lot of athletes use cocaine. I've known quite a few athletes who do, including bodybuilders. I'm not condoning it. I think it's stupid. I think it's really stupid. And in fact, I lost a friend that way who was stacking cocaine with his other PEDs, and he ended up having a heart attack and dying. So, I'm not a big fan of this. But is it believable that he was using it? Absolutely. This is a guy who stays in a lighter weight class. He is not anywhere near heavyweight, so he needs to stay lighter. Cocaine is oftentimes used as a cutting drug, a fat loss drug, a weight management drug by athletes, bodybuilders, models. It works very well for that. The problem is that it can have some major health consequences, and it is highly addictive. So you get into a situation like that to where cocaine, a drug that can clear your system relatively quickly for a drug test, he still tests positive for it as a professional athlete, knowing it could jeopardize his career. Why? Because he probably got hooked on it due to the amount of money he's making so he can afford it, and the fact that he got hooked on it through using it to help manage his weight, most likely. He got careless due to his addiction. As a result of that, he got popped on a drug test. These things happen. It's unfortunate when you see something like that happen to an athlete. They get hooked on something like that, but it absolutely does happen, and the majority of them do not get caught. In his case, he just got unlucky because he couldn't hold back with his habit, knowing he was going to have a drug test, and he just cut it too close because he needed that one last bump. And again, shows you the nature of addiction and the problems with it when people will actually jeopardize a multi-million-dollar career over an addiction. Shows you how bad things can get. Now, the other thing that he was popped on was the T to E ratio. For those who don't know, that is the testosterone to epitestosterone. Testosterone being a major anabolic and recovery hormone in your body. Epitestosterone, not so much. But they occur in a naturally occurring ratio. When your body produces testosterone, it produces a correlating amount of epitestosterone, but it varies a bit in the ratio from person to person depending on genetics. So the whole idea is that since your natural hormone production is suppressed by putting in exogenous or external hormones into your body, so if you're putting testosterone into your body, your epitestosterone goes down while your testosterone goes up because your natural production has gone down of the testosterone, thus your body doesn't produce the epitestosterone either. Now, there's a lot of debates on this. WADA uses a 4-to-1 ratio, although there's a lot of debates about that because it tends to flag certain ethnic groups more than others because there's a genetic component. John Jones being African American, so therefore he tends to oftentimes, as a demographic, have a slightly higher T to E ratio. So some people argue that the 4-to-1 is biased towards certain ethnic groups. And UFC and some other sports use a 6-to-1 accordingly, which gives you a fairer margin because nobody's naturally going to pass a 6-to-1 irrespective of genetics. Now, you do not fail an athlete for a drug test based purely upon that. What that does is a signal that they are probably using some other testosterone or some other anabolic. Something's going on to suppress that epitestosterone so they get that ratio off, in which case they subject them to further testing. It's usually used as a red flag to say, hey, we need to test this guy further. Now, the thing is, a lot of people get around it, and the reason he didn't test positive for other testosterone, even though he tested outside of that range, which is very indicative of it, he is probably using an undetectable form of testosterone, like testosterone suspension, that you can only detect by the amount of it in your bloodstream at the time, and it clears within 12 hours, versus the epitestosterone. So if he's using testosterone suspension, he won't fail a drug test for that. But what he did have happen is he got popped on the epitestosterone. Now, a lot of athletes on that will use epitestosterone to balance that out, but if they misdose that, they will catch that on the ratio test also, because they usually look at and say if you're over 200 nanograms per deciliter of epitestosterone, then they pop you for the ratio anyway, so they know the body's not going to produce that much, so you're putting it into your body exogenously to mask the drug test. So it does require a bit of math to get that T to E ratio down for athletes who want to mess with that. And clearly in his case, something went wrong. He either didn't prepare for it, didn't use epitestosterone. Something went wrong. He got popped on that also. So all around carelessness for a guy who knew he was about to get tested at an event. There you have it. That is the explanation for the failed drug test. For people who are wondering what's going on, why would the guy be using testosterone? Why would he fail a T to E ratio test? What does all of it mean? That's most likely the situation. And guys, I'm not saying that's the absolute fact. That is just my experience with this in the sports world and dealing with athletes, that is most likely the situation that occurred. I could very well be wrong. And you know what? We'll probably never know the truth. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time. But let me give you guys a bicep shot before I go. Oh, Mount Bicephalus.